Welcome to Mind Set in Stone podcasts, where we dive deep into the most compelling books on the shelf. Join hosts Dave and Poppy as they uncover the stories, themes, and ideas that shape our understanding and inspire curiosity. Get ready to explore the big ideas that leave a lasting impact. Let's get started.
All right, so imagine bottling up, the essence of Zig Ziglar, all those motivational messages he's known for, and giving them a fresh 2024 update. Well, that's kind of what we're diving into today with Tom Ziglar's book, Choose to Win.
Yeah, and it's interesting how Tom takes his father's, legacy, those powerful messages, and really shapes them into a practical system. It's not just about feeling good. It's about understanding the why behind success.
Exactly. It's no more vague quotes, right? This is about concrete steps. One thing that really hit me was this idea of, he calls it persistent consistency, PC. Basically, it's those small, consistent choices that over time can really transform your life.
Right, and he makes it clear it's not about these huge, overwhelming changes. He's talking about those simple, manageable tweaks we can make in, different areas of life. He uses this wheel of life analogy. Have you heard of that?
Oh, yeah.
So it's mental, spiritual, physical, family, financial, personal, career. He's showing how they're all connected,
Right.
Improving one area can actually impact the others.
Totally. It's how you do anything is how you do everything, right?
Exactly. And that's where his trinity of transformation comes in. Desire, hope, grit.
Oh, I like that.
He uses this really cool analogy of a hot air balloon. The balloon is your potential. The fuel is all that positive input we feed ourselves. And then the rope's holding you down. Those are the limiting beliefs, those bad habits we all have.
Oh, I love a good visual. So to reach our potential, we got to cut those ropes, right? And he actually gives strategies for overcoming negative self-talk, replacing those bad habits.
Yeah, it's a process, right? He says it's not about being perfect, it's about making that progress. He talks about setting clear goals, breaking them down, and then taking action, even if it's uncomfortable. There's this great story he tells about one of his certified trainers. The guy just significantly increased his income by reviewing his goals every single day.
Whoa, imagine that. Making $100 a minute just by focusing on your goals. But it's not enough to just review them, right? He gives us a system, which is so helpful.
Yeah, and it's all about being specific, being clear about what you want. And it's not just the what, it's the why. Why are these goals important to you? That's what keeps you going.
It's like having that North Star,
Yeah.
Especially when things get tough, which they do. But it can't all be about external success, can it?
Right. He talks a lot about building that strong spiritual foundation, integrity and trust being super important. And he's open about his faith, even when it maybe costs him business.
Yeah, he tells that story about almost losing a big client because someone thought their training was too, faith-based.
Right. And, not everyone shares the same beliefs, of course, but I think it's really powerful that he sticks to his values even when it's hard.
It shows that authenticity, right? And that builds trust. He even says he'd rather lose a deal than, compromise his integrity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that success isn't just about, profits. It's about living your values and building a legacy, right? And that resonates with people no matter their background.
100%. And there's this other story, I think it was a company, they were hesitant about working with him. They were like, is this faith thing going to be a problem?
Yeah.
But because he was so upfront about it, they actually ended up signing a big contract. It's that transparency really matters.
It does. And there are even cases where he walked away from really lucrative deals just because they didn't align with his beliefs. It really shows you have to know your non-negotiables. You
just got to have those boundaries.
Absolutely. And that actually leads into this idea of making it right, which he talks about.
Making it right. Okay, I'm intrigued. So what does that look like?
It's not just saying sorry when you mess up. It's about taking action to actually fix it, rebuilding that trust through what you do, not just what you say.
Walking the walk, right? Not just talking the talk. And he actually gives advice on how to do that, which is cool.
He does. He talks about figuring out what your core values are and using those as your guide, whether it's making decisions, dealing with people, or even handling tough situations. It's about making sure your actions match what you say you believe.
Bridging that gap between our values and our actions. I think that's where a lot of us, struggle sometimes. Or maybe it's just me.
It's a journey for sure.
Yeah.
And speaking of journeys, Ziglar's also big on taking care of ourselves physically. He really believes there's a strong connection between a healthy body and a sharp mind.
Mm.
He even talks about his own like weight loss journey using his dad's strategy. He called it block in a mailbox, or BAM.
Okay, block in a mailbox. I got to know more about this. It sounds interesting.
Oh, it's actually pretty simple, but like super effective. The idea is you start small, you focus on making a little progress at a time, and you celebrate each step, even if it seems small at first. So say you want to start walking for exercise. You might just start by like walking to the end of the block, and once you're comfortable with that, you add a little more, like maybe walk to a mailbox a bit further down.
So it's about breaking those bigger goals down, right?
Yeah.
Making them more manageable and kind of building that momentum as you go. And that actually applies to like so many things, not just physical health,
Exactly. And Ziglar talks about how those small, consistent actions really add up over time. And he points to 3 key areas for, staying healthy: sleep, diet, and exercise.
He's all about that sleep, right? I know I definitely feel it when I don't get enough. Like my focus is just shot.
He actually says if you had to pick just one thing to focus on, it should be sleep. And it makes sense. There's tons of research showing how bad sleep deprivation is for us, both mentally and physically. It affects our mood, our energy, even our ability to think straight and make good decisions.
It's like trying to, I don't know, run a marathon on an empty tank, right? So sleep is crucial. What about diet? Does he have like a specific meal plan he recommends?
Nah, he's not into those fad diets. He promotes what he calls the purity diet, basically eating whole, unprocessed foods, as close to their natural state as possible. Fruits, vegetables, lean protein, whole grains, that kind of thing.
So it's not about restricting yourself. It's more about making healthier choices most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Focus on what you're adding to your diet, those good, nutritious foods, rather than getting hung up on what you can't have.
Makes sense. And of course, we can't talk about health without mentioning exercise. Does he have any specific workouts he's into?
He's all about finding something you enjoy and sticking with it, making it a regular part of your routine. He's big on just moving more in general throughout the day, even if it's just taking the stairs instead of the elevator or going for a walk at lunch.
Those little things really do add up.
They do. And he's always reminding us, it's not about being perfect, it's about making that effort, Just like with the block in a mailbox thing, celebrate those small wins, keep the momentum going, and eventually those healthy habits, they just become part of your life.
It's about enjoying the journey, right?
Exactly. Now, switching gears a bit, Ziglar also talks about taking breaks, like actually scheduling in personal time. He sees that as super important for keeping our energy up, being more creative, and just like enjoying life more.
That's something I think a lot of us struggle with, especially these days. We're so used to being on all the time that we forget to actually take time for ourselves.
Right. He's saying those breaks, whether it's doing a hobby, spending time with people you care about, or even just like putting the phone down for a while, it's crucial. It's how we recharge so we can be our best selves in all areas of life.
Totally. Makes sense. It's like recharging your batteries, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He even suggests like making a list of activities you enjoy, things that energize you. Think of it like a menu of options for when you need a little boost or a moment of peace.
I love that idea. Curated a list of joy-bringing activities. What are some things on your list?
Well, I'm a big reader, so curling up with a good book is always up there for me.
Ziglar loved reading. He called it treasure hunting in books. I've heard him say, your input shapes your outlook, and your outlook shapes your future. It's about feeding our minds with those positive, inspiring things.
100%. And what's cool is he suggests keeping a journal, to jot down those aha moments or key takeaways you get while reading. It's about taking action on what you learn, applying it to your own life.
So it's not just passive, it's active, right? You're really engaging with it. Speaking of powerful practices, he also talks about gratitude.
He was a huge believer in gratitude for boosting happiness, reducing stress, just improving your overall well-being, really.
I've been trying to be more intentional about gratitude, and I gotta say, I have noticed a difference. It's amazing how focusing on what you're thankful for can just shift your whole perspective.
He had this practice, the 66 Days of Gratitude Challenge.
66 days. Wow, that's commitment. What does that look like?
Every day, he would write down 3 things he was grateful for, and the catch was he couldn't repeat any more in plain. He believed that by doing it consistently for that long, it would really become a habit, like rewiring your brain to see the good.
Training your mind to focus on the positive, even when things are tough?
Right. And he was clear that it's not about ignoring the hard stuff or pretending everything's perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the good in the midst of it all, using gratitude as like a source of strength.
It's about recognizing that even on our worst days, there's always something to be thankful for, even if it's something small.
Exactly. And he didn't just keep that gratitude to himself. He encouraged people to share it, express appreciation to others.
Create that ripple effect of positivity.
Right. Whether it's a note, a text, or just a genuine thank you, those little gestures can really make someone's day. And speaking of making a difference, he talks a lot about surrounding yourself with positive influences, especially at work.
Oh, yeah. We've all experienced how draining it can be to be around negative people all the time.
He says the people we spend our time with, especially at work, they have a huge impact on us, our mindset, our energy, even our success.
So it's about creating that supportive environment, right? Being around people who lift you up and challenge you to be better.
He even suggests making a positive people list, basically, a list of people who inspire you.
It's like building your own personal cheerleading squad.
Right. Exactly. And on the flip side, he talks about setting boundaries with those who drain us. It's about protecting our energy and creating a space where we can thrive.
Being intentional about the company we keep. Now, how does he suggest we create that positive environment at work, especially if we're in a leadership role?
He talks about fostering open communication, respect, making sure everyone feels valued and part of something meaningful.
Creating a culture where people feel good about contributing, right?
Exactly. And he even suggests incorporating fun and celebrations into the workday to keep morale high and build camaraderie.
Who doesn't love a good celebration, right?
Right. It's a good reminder that work can be enjoyable too. And this all ties into his belief that success isn't just about what we achieve individually, it's about creating a positive impact on the people around us, making the world a better place.
We're all connected, right? Our actions matter.
Now, speaking of connection, he also talks about family. How does he suggest we navigate those relationships, especially in today's busy world? He's really honest about the challenges of family life, how it takes effort to make those relationships strong. He talks a lot about communication, spending quality time together, and sharing experiences.
I like that he's real about it. He shares his own ups and downs, which makes his advice feel more relatable.
Totally. And he's clear that family takes work. You have to be intentional, communicate openly, and be willing to adapt as things change.
He talks about the importance of those little legacy moments, those special moments that really strengthen those family bonds.
Things like family dinners, having those meaningful conversations, planning trips together. It's about being present and creating those memories that'll last.
He also encourages families to, define their values together, right?
Yeah.
And make those values a central part of their family culture.
He even gives you a framework for having those conversations with your kids, helping them understand why you believe what you believe.
It's about instilling those values in a way that makes sense to them.
Right. And he's big on walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Leading by example.
It's exactly. Kids are always watching, so we have to be mindful of the example we're setting.
Our actions speak louder than words. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about another important aspect of life finances.
Ziglar was a big advocate for being responsible with money, managing it wisely.
He believed that being financially secure wasn't just about having a lot of money, it was about having that peace of mind, knowing you're prepared for whatever life throws at you, and having the freedom to pursue your passions.
He even suggested creating what he called a financial freedom checklist, a list of things you can do to achieve financial security and create the life you want.
I love that he gives those practical steps. What kind of things does he include on that checklist?
Well, he talks about creating a budget that works for you, having a plan to manage debt, setting financial goals, and checking in on your progress regularly. He emphasizes that it's not about depriving yourself. It's about being intentional with your money and making choices that align with what's important to you.
So it's about being in control of your money, not letting it control you.
Yeah. Right. And he was all about being proactive. Educate yourself about money. Seek out expert advice when you need it. He believed that understanding finances is crucial for making good decisions and creating a secure future.
Financial literacy is so important. It's not something they always teach you in school, but it's essential for navigating life.
Absolutely. And Ziglar always said it's never too late to learn and improve your habits. He even shared his own financial struggles, to show that even successful people make mistakes. It's about learning from those mistakes and making better choices moving forward.
It's about that growth mindset, right? Turning those setbacks into learning opportunities. He also talked about giving back, using your money to support causes you believe in.
He truly believed that generosity was key to a fulfilling life.
It's about recognizing that we have more than enough to share and that giving back, it can bring a real sense of purpose.
He wanted people to find ways to give back to their communities, whether it's volunteering, donating to charity, or just being kind and helpful.
It's like that idea of paying it forward, spreading those good vibes.
Totally. And it doesn't have to be like huge gestures, right?
Yeah.
Ziglar was big on the idea that even small acts of giving can make a difference.
It's the thought that counts, right? That willingness to share. Now, we've talked about personal growth, relationships, money matters. But what about our careers? How does that whole choose to win thing apply to finding work we love?
He really believed that a good career wasn't just about like a big paycheck, It was more about finding something you're passionate about, something that uses your talents, work that challenges you but also like lights you up.
I think so many people are stuck in jobs they hate. It's like they've given up on finding that.
He talked about creating a career compass. Basically, you figure out your strengths, what you love, your values, and then you use that to make decisions about your career path.
Yeah.
It's about taking control, finding opportunities that feel right for you.
Have you ever done anything like that, like a career compass? Did it lead you to anything surprising?
I think for me, it's always evolving, And Ziglar actually said careers are rarely a straight line. There's going to be bumps, detours, stuff you didn't see coming. It's about being able to adapt, to bounce back and see those challenges as opportunities for growth.
The only constant is change, right? Speaking of change, he was all about lifelong learning, always growing your knowledge and skills.
Oh, yeah. He was always saying, stay curious, embrace new things, keep learning your whole life, and not just like formal education, Find mentors, go to workshops, read anything to stay sharp and keep up with things.
It's about investing in yourself, basically.
That's it. And don't underestimate building your network either. Surround yourself with people who can guide you, support you, share valuable insights.
Like having a personal board of directors for your career. Right.
Exactly. And Ziglar talked about being proactive, too. Don't wait for opportunities to come to you. Go after them. Don't be afraid to take some risks. Step outside that comfort zone.
Create the career you want. Don't just wait for it to happen. But he also said success doesn't look the same for everyone, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not always about climbing that ladder. It's about finding what gives you purpose in your work. Using your talents to make a difference. What success to you might be totally different for someone else.
Exactly. Maybe it's about having more balance, pursuing a creative outlet, giving back to your community. It's about finding what lights you up.
And even with the tough stuff, the setbacks, he always said to be grateful for those opportunities to learn and grow.
Bringing that gratitude into the workplace, too.
Oh, for sure. He even had this idea of a workplace gratitude list. You write down things you're grateful for at work, your coworkers, the chance to use your skills, whatever it might be. It's a way to focus on the good, especially when work's got you down.
It's amazing what a little shift in perspective can do. Now, Ziglar seemed to have accomplished so much. How did he say we could really maximize our own performance?
He had this thing he called the Ziglar performance formula. It's actually really simple. Attitude times effort times skill equals performance. He'd even give each part a number to show that, like, a great attitude plus hard work and skills leads to way better results.
So you need all three working together.
That's it. It's like teamwork, but with yourself. You got to have the right mindset, put in the effort, and have the skills to back it up.
It's all connected.
And he emphasized that improving your performance is a journey. It takes constant effort, always trying to get better, even in small ways.
Always striving for excellence,
Yeah.
right? In everything we do.
Exactly. And this actually connects to his idea of legacy, which he saw as like a natural part of living a meaningful life.
So it goes beyond what we achieve while we're here, right? It's about how we impact others.
He believed that legacy was about our values, the good we put out into the world, the people we touch. And it's not about fame. It's about making a real difference.
And it's not just something you think about at the end, right? It's happening all the time. It's in the choices we make every single day.
And he encouraged everyone to find those little ways to make a difference every day. A kind word, helping someone out, even just a smile.
Those little things add up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He truly believed that even the smallest acts of kindness, of generosity, can have this ripple effect, making the world a better, more loving place.
And he walked the walk, right? He lived his life that way.
He did. He reminded us that a life well lived is about more than just our own achievements. It's about making a positive impact.
It's about leaving things better than we found them. So if we were to sum it all up, what's the core message of Ziglar's Choose to Win?
I think it's about recognizing that we have the power, We get to choose our path, create a life that's both fulfilling for ourselves and meaningful to others. It's about always growing, getting better, and using our unique gifts to make a difference.
It's about living with purpose, inspiring others, and leaving the world a little brighter than we found it.
And Ziglar believed we all have that power within us. It starts with making the choice to choose to win, not just for ourselves, but for everyone.
It's a choice we can make every single day. And on that note, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll catch you next time for more inspiring insights and actionable advice to unlock your full potential.
We hope you're leaving with fresh insights and a spark of inspiration. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and check back for more episodes as we dive into new worlds of thought, one book at a time. Until then, keep your mind set in stone and your curiosity open. This has been a Big L Riz Media podcast, where big ideas meet lasting impressions.